Danny Smith, what year was your first year running Knoxville Raceway?
First Knoxville appearance was the Nationals in 1978.
Never raced there before then, just roll up to the Nationals.
No, only read about it in the Speed Sport News.
What were your impressions?
Scared to death. I was, you read about it, you know who's won it before you, and the prestigious race that it is. I was like, man, what am I was just scared to death. Didn't know what to expect. Didn't have a clue what was going to happen.
78, so that was non-wing.
Yeah.
So, how'd you go?
Good. We were third quick on our night and ran, we ran fifth or seventh on our preliminary night. Third, maybe. I can't remember. But I know the final night, we ran fifth. It was cool. It was really cool. You were racing. A lot of the California cars were there, and there was always, back then, really shiny and beautiful.
Yeah.
And the California names that I'd never raced against. 78 was a big year. The first Knoxville Nationals, first World of Outlaws season, first trip to California. So it was a pretty cool time in my life.
So that was 47 years ago.
Yeah.
Huh.
Seems like the other day.
Does really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the following year you drove for somebody? You subbed in for someone?
Bobby Marshall from Dallas, Texas. Banged his head pretty hard at Devil's Bowl, and I ran his car a couple months in the summer, and ran the Knoxville Nationals in his car in 1979.
So, what's your best result?
81-ish, 81, I believe. We ran fourth was the best. We ran fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, kind of everywhere through there, but fourth was the best.
Unfortunate that time coincided with Steve Kinser racing Knoxville.
Yeah, he was the guy to beat in the 70s. It's funny how it's changed. He was 70s was Steve, Sammy, Wolfgang, early years of the Outlaws, and then along came the Bobby Davises and the Blaneys and the whole time was Kinser, tough to beat. Then came Mark, and then came Shots, and then we got Gravel and Macedo now, the guys to beat. So
And Larson,
when he shows up, tough to beat. So yeah, I know how them guys feel nowadays when they get beat every night by Larson or Gravel, because we used to get beat by Steve every night too. So back in the day, frustrating, but when you beat him, it's a good feeling.
what was Knoxville like without a wing?
It was at the time, no big deal, because in 78, the first year of the Outlaws, we ran wing races, and the other half of the time we ran without the wing, so it's no big deal. But it was a big, fast, when I say fast, we was probably running 20 seconds around there without the wing.
Yeah.
So, big corners, kind of a big circle.
Yeah.
You know, it's got straightaways, but they're not real straight for very long. But something different, black dirt that we hardly run on black dirt, and never that many cars at one race. So
How did the track compare to other tracks you've been on in terms of its raceability? Was it just so different to everywhere else?
it was different because we run Eldora, High Bank. Knoxville was fairly flat. Of course, then it had a guardrail, and maybe turn 1 and 2 had some kind of more of a fence there by the road. 3 and 4 they had nothing, no fence, no catch fence, no nothing. Big old black dirt, and back then they didn't get carried away like they do nowadays to get the track sheep's footed and smooth as they can get. It had some grip to it. It had some character.
Yeah, right. What's special about Knoxville? You and I were talking before. What's the magical part about that place?
Just the event that it's turned into over the years. I got to see it in 78 when if you flipped off turn 2 and went over the guardrail, you landed in the Quonset huts, and now it's got catch fences all the way around, got museums and big giant grandstands. But back then it was just a little grandstand on the front straightaway. It probably held 5,000 people. But just to watch it grow over the years and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and they just do such a fantastic job of making it bigger. It's the best in the country. Fire Crew's the best. I mean, they got the best crowd, the best payoff. Maybe not to win, but the best overall payoff. And they work hard at it. So, and it's an honor to race there. It's been a few years since I raced there, but it's an honor to race there.
So we're thinking that's about 8 or 9 years or so since you ran back there, 2016, around there somewhere, we're thinking?
I think it was 16. I think that was the year, it might have been 15. I have to look. But it was the year I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, was the last year I went and raced the Nationals. So it's been a while.
You're going to be one of the guests at the Breakfast with Champions with Doug Clark, which is going to be super cool. You've had a lot of experience with the Warrnambool Classic over the years, which is Australia's Knoxville Nationals. You've won that many times and you've had so many great battles with Australia's Steve Kinser, with Gary Rush. You must remember that very fondly.
Yeah, very fondly. It's a big part of my career was racing in Australia. And to win their biggest race of the year, like I said, it may not be the biggest paying race, but it's the biggest event. 6 times is the feather in your cap, what can you say?
Not many people won more than that, mate.
Yeah, Gary Rush has 7, and that's it.
Yeah. I'm not sure that record will be beaten either.
Probably not, especially nowadays. It's on any given night, about any car can win because they're all so equal.
Yeah.
Back then, I had a lot of experience, and there wasn't a lot of cars, and it was kind of easy to go in there and beat them. Really, nowadays it's tough.
Yeah. When you look up in that grandstand on the main stretch, the place is full. 25,000 people there on the Saturday, and you look over on the back stretch and it's full back there as well. That must be a special time to be a sprint car racer on that stage.
Oh yeah. It's just amazing how much Australia, the fans are awesome. I mean, we got awesome fans here, don't get me wrong, but they love their sprint cars and they love their country and they love to cheer for their guys. But
yeah, we love you being over there. We just don't want you to win.
Yeah. The early years, I'd followed Gary Patterson and some of the guys that really revved it up and got the crowd going. And at first, they booed me, but they didn't even know me. But it got a little bit better. When I told them the louder you boo, the faster I go, they kind of quit doing that because it worked.
How much did you have to do with Ralph Capitani back in the day?
Not a lot, just through the Knoxville being there, and he was always around to meet and greet and say hi, and just got to know him at the racetrack very well, and when you know somebody a little, you find out a little bit more about him behind the scenes, and I guess he was a really good teacher.
Correct.
And cared about his students,
Yep.
And he cared about his racers too. So he's a genuine good person.
Doug Clark, another unique part of the Knoxville experience. Tom Schmay,
Yep.
who had a lot to do with your great friend John Evans as well, through the Australian Sprint Car poll that they used to do through the Hall of Fame as well. It's incredible the connection that Australia has with Knoxville. And there's I think they say there's 2,000 Australians or something come across every year. Would that surprise you?
Oh, no, not, It died off around COVID, kind of slowed the whole world down for a little bit. And I hear it's back to normal. I guess I'll find out when we get out there. But usually the Australian fans, they'll come by and say, hey, too. We watched your race here, we watched your race there. And it's fun to talk to them.
All right, so could you sum up Knoxville in one word?
Awesome.